Dana here from Zero to Income. We're going to dig into a couple directory services that are out there. There are platforms that you can use to build a directory-based websites. And let's talk a little bit about this. So we're going to set the stage in this first video, by the way. We're not going to dive right into the one versus the other, eDirectory versus Brilliant Directories. And the reason is because you have to understand context and even to know what you're going to compare with the tools and purpose and what you're going to achieve, what's your value proposition, all of that stuff. So we're going to hit some things high level. I'm going to come at you from my experience working with both of these platforms, Brilliant Directories. I've only been a member with them for a couple months, and eDirectory, I've used eDirectory for 3 or 4 years now, 4 years, I think. So we're going to dig into each of these platforms, but we need to set some groundwork first. And I will give you full disclosure. I am a Brilliant Directories affiliate, and there is a link below. So if you're really thinking like Brilliant Directories is for me and that's the way I want to go, then you can use the link in the comments. Look at the first comment. You'll see a link in there and use code Zero to Income, all caps, and you'll get 30% off of Brilliant Directories. eDirectory, please reach out to me. I'd love to be an affiliate. I've asked for it in the past and didn't get it. No harm, no foul. Just reach back to me and tell me, hey, you can be an affiliate with us and promote us. I do want to make this video, though, as unbiased as possible between the two platforms, because I really do think eDirectory has some really interesting things that make it an incredibly viable option for a lot of people. But we're going to dig into that in a little bit. First, let's set some groundwork. Why would you even want to have a directory-based platform? What is a directory platform? Well, a directory platform is basically like a modern Yellow Pages. So if you remember the old phone book, you can flip through. Directory platform is going to give you the ability to give location, phone number, address, email address, website, social media links, sometimes even a chat integrated that allows you to chat directly with the business, all of these things in one place, long descriptions, HTML options, just an incredible amount of tools all in one place to allow you to build information sites, little mini information sites for just a multitude of businesses. How many businesses? Well, out of the box, Brilliant Directory supports 100,000 members. eDirectory supports, it's based off of the entire size of the site. We can get into that later, but eDirectory supports, again, hundreds of thousands is not a problem. Okay, so why would you do this? Why would you go down this road? And what is the model that's involved here that allows you to make money? Well, first of all, let's just get the money piece. Let's put it on the table right now, because many of you are thinking that I can just fire up a directory and it's going to just start generating revenue for me. That's not true. And if people are telling you that, they're lying, because it does not work that way. About 4 years ago, I started building one on a premier domain, mainvacations.com. And it has been a struggle. You would think you would be able to get a niche market in Maine and go around to Maine businesses and say, hey, we're really focused on Maine. We're really focused on the Maine economy. Would you sign up and get listed on mainvacations.com? And this is what it costs per month. And you know what? People aren't into that. People aren't just into throwing money in when they don't know what they're going to get on the other side. You need to be able to generate some sort of value in order for this to work. So it is harder than you think it is. If you think I've got a great domain, I can just go on and flip a switch and this thing's going to generate revenue for me. Probably not true. Over 99% not true. Look at there's so many sites and people ask questions in the forum. How can I get more traffic? How can I get people to actually pay? They're giving out free tiers. So it can be a very expensive hobby. And I will say over the last 4 years that with eDirectory as the platform for mainvacations.com, including buying a site license and everything else, over the course of 4 years and travel, I've had to travel to do various things, to a conference or whatever. I've probably put in over 10 grand into one to try and get it going, only to now be like, do I need to let that one go? Do I need to cut it loose? Well, I've got a different approach with a different one that I'm using with Brilliant Directories, and nothing against eDirectory. I think the platform's great, and we'll get into that again later. But Brilliant Directories, this other one I'm trying on Brilliant Directories is loghome.net. Now, that one has had a lot more interest. And as a matter of fact, I've even had people pre-buy spots before I intended to launch. I didn't expect for the site to be online before July 1 of this year. It's on early. And right out of the gate, I had two people like, let me give you money for what's not even there yet. So they gave me money before the site was even launched. So that's an indicator that, hey, there's something valuable here. Okay. If you're starting down this road and you're thinking, I'm going to give you some tips here. If you're thinking down this road here, let me give you some things to consider. One, you have to have a clear purpose and audience. You can't just step into this world of directory websites and just think it's going to magically work. Let's just get that idea right out of your head altogether right now. So you've got to build it with a very clear purpose and a very clear audience. Now, I was building Maine Vacations with a very clear purpose to connect the experience seeker with the experience provider in Maine, focused on the Maine economy and driving traffic into Maine businesses to help them out. So even though I had a clear purpose in the audience, I thought clear Maine businesses. I'm marketing to Maine businesses that need to be listed on Maine Vacations, and then the bigger audience is Maine people that are going to travel to Maine and buy lodging and all of that, kind of like a Airbnb of sorts for just Maine, really. But that clear purpose and audience is just not enough to go over the top. You've got to have a plan to get this site online. You've got to have a market test where you can actually do some sort of a value exchange like those people did for loghome.net, and they gave me money early to just be listed, which I can tell you how to do that, and we can walk through that. It's not that hard. It's a little bit of work to set up, but you can totally do that yourself and do a market test and find out if people are ready to buy what you intend to sell through that directory website. Okay, let me give you some things here that it's got to have a user-friendly design. Either one, no matter what you choose, and there's others out there. eDirectory and Brilliant Directories are not the only two in this game. There are plenty of other options out there. These are the two that I'm familiar with, and from what I'm reading on forums, these are two that people want to have compared. Responsive design, user-friendly, and it's got to be responsive. It needs to be able to work for both mobile and desktop. Out of the box, 100% of the time, that when you pull up that site on a mobile phone, it's going to work. And when you pull it up on a desktop computer, it's going to work. It's going to look good. It's got to have that baked in. Otherwise, you're going to find yourself editing all sorts of pages to try and make these things work for mobile and for desktop. That's not good. Responsive, it's got to be quick. It's got to have comprehensive content. So it's got to cover the niche that you're looking at. It's got to cover the region. However your breakdown is. So with loghome.net, I'm going after log home manufacturers, log home contractors, land agents, and brokers. Let's see, log home decorators, and I'm missing a fifth one. Oh, a log home products, maintenance supplies, and things like that. So I'm going after 5 groups of people with the loghome.net plan. And I want it to be all in one place for people that are looking for log home stuff to be able to go there. And really that was my intention with mainvacations.com, listed on eDirectory as well. People are looking for a one-stop shop, an app that they could put on their phone, Maine Vacations app that they could put on their phone and say, all right, what's the lodging near me? What are the restaurants near me? What are the activities around me? So it's got to be comprehensive. So a clear purpose, clear audience, user-friendly design, responsive design. It's got to be comprehensive. It's got to have a search functionality built in. This is one of the differentiators that makes these platforms so good, is that they can handle all of that search on the back end of their own platform, rather than you trying to figure out, well, how am I going to introduce a search for the pages? And by the way, there are WordPress options out there. I've tried at least two of them. I can't remember what they are, but they were the two most popular WordPress options out there. And I was just like, this is just a nightmare to try and manage. So I cut loose on that, and I focused on eDirectory as the first one that I went after. And there's definitely some pros for Brilliant Directory. We're going to get into that because it's super important you guys understand where the big differences lie between those. So that first search functionality has to be there. You've got to be able to do some sort of user reviews and ratings. It's got to be some sort of baked in system that allows people to comment and add more information by just saying, hey, I reached out to these guys. They knocked it out of the park. They did awesome. Thank you so much. And blah, blah, blah. And that will help all of those people that are listing on your platform. SEO optimization has got to be there out of the box. You do not want to screw around with having to do SEO for every little page that you build. And Brilliant Directories, we'll get into that too. Brilliant Directories has some great options for that to kind of beat out eDirectory in some ways. Domain name. You have to have a solid domain name for your niche. It can't niche, however I've heard it both ways. You've got to be able to market in a way that's strong for your target audience. And you're going to do that through a domain name, right? Because you're going to send them to a website in order to get this information. So it's got to be super strong domain. Loghome.net, super strong. Mainvacations.com, super strong. Loghomeplans.com, super strong, right? So you're going after domain names that say what they're going to get when they go there. And loghomeplans.com, well, I don't have to tell anybody what's going to be on the website. Oh, it's Log Home Plans. Loghome.net, I might have to say, you know what, it's a comprehensive directory across US and Canada for all things log home. We connect the log home dreamer to the log home expert, right? That's our mission. Okay, domain name. You've got to have a unique selling proposition, some reason why people are going to want to consider being part of your directory. So here's where I kind of screwed up with Main Vacations. The vacation market is huge. Think about all of the places that you can find vacation content, oriented content, booking, all of that. You've got Airbnb, VRBO. In Maine, they've got one called Visit Maine. And then you've got TripAdvisor. And I mean, the list just goes on and on and on. And they service everywhere, or other than the Visit Maine one, they service across the globe in many cases. So why are people going to want to list with my little one just for Maine? I've got to really get really solid in connecting that mission to them. So what's my unique selling proposition? I don't feel like I solve a problem with mainvacations.com, to be honest. After 4 years in hindsight, looking back, I would say, if I had a business ask me right now, how are you solving a problem for the Maine vacation industry by having mainvacations.com? Mainers want to be listed on a Maine website. I don't know what else to say. So unique selling proposition is all part of that. Market research, you got to dig, you got to do some market research. Now, I told you earlier, I ran some of my own market research by reaching out to log home manufacturers and saying, hey, this is what I'm doing. And I got people actually to do a value exchange with me in advance. And that shows me that the loghome.net one is going to be solid. Are there any legal considerations, and what's your monetizing strategy, and all of that? And all of these systems have ways to be able to do a credit card exchange, and they have a way to automatically apply whichever listing they've signed up for, to give them password resets, to access their accounts, all of that stuff. All of that, those things are going to be in Brilliant Directories and eDirectory, and pretty much every other directory platform under the sun is going to have all of that stuff built in. They're going to be able to self-manage their listings and all of that. All of that's going to be built in. But what's the strategy to actually take money from them? So with loghome.net, it's a leads-based strategy. If I can get them really good leads, people that are like, dude, I want to log home. Give me a log home. Get me on the list. And they fill out a form. That form can be auto sent to the people that are subscribing for leads, and they can pay for those leads. And log home leads apparently are pretty valuable. They can range from anywhere from $20 a lead on the low end. That's $20 a lead per place that I allow it to be bought. So let's say I have a single lead and I allow it to be bought by up to 5 people. So if I go on the low end, $20, a single lead is $100, up to $100 income after it's purchased by up to 5 people. I don't want them to be hammered by a bunch of businesses. You know, if I sell it 20 times, it's going to water down the lead value. But a lead can also be sold for up to $200 in the log home space. So I did some research on that, and that's kind of like, that's a huge range. And you think about every lead coming in, wow, that can really generate some money, right? Legal considerations, there are legal considerations with whatever it is that you're trying to do. I was able to get Maine Vacations trademark for Maine Vacations, and so Maine Vacations is trademark moi, and it did take a long time to go through that process. And I will note it is a supplemental trademark, meaning that it couldn't follow under the normal branding strategies from US PTO, the US Patent Trade Office. So it goes on a supplemental list, which is like, yeah, you can use this. We're going to trademark it. It is possible that somebody's going to fight you on this. So, but you're the holder. And I've already seen there was there was Coastal Maine Vacations tried to register a trademark for them, but because there was crossover with Maine Vacations, I actually hold the trademark for Maine Vacations. That one was initially denied. I don't know if it'll end up going through or not, but that's kind of like a touch on the legal side of things, and how you name it and on all of that. Okay. Setting all of this up, doing this is not a cakewalk. However, let me close with this. There is super, super encouraging news. And I hope that you've stuck in here through this diatribe, all this stuff, because here's the real nugget right here. It can be done. It can be done quick, and you can prove whether or not your directory service is going to be viable in a very short period of time. Plus, you can get it launched very, very quickly. It only took me a matter of 2 to 3 weeks to launch loghome.net. And I'm going to walk through some of that stuff in these upcoming videos. But that's setting the base for all of this. And it is not a cakewalk. It's, takes time and energy, but it can be done, and it can be profitable. We're going to dive into this some more and get into the specific nitty-gritties between Brilliant Directory and eDirectory. But again, it's important for you to understand that foundation of thought, because you need to know what questions you're going to ask of each of these systems. And it's much better to think about the things we've just mentioned here, rather than going in blindly and being like, well, I don't know. I haven't thought about SEO. I haven't thought about market. I haven't thought about a unique selling proposition. So this will help you get the ball rolling, and we'll let you know as more videos come out. You can subscribe down below, and you'll get them a notification in YouTube. Thanks. Bye.